Lord, welcome, Saints of Rome Methodius Orthodox Church. I'm Father Gregory, and as you can see from still at the Hilton Garden Inn on Regent Street, God willing, this will be our last Sunday on the road, as it were. We hope this week back in our building and have our chapel, and hopefully go back starting next Saturday after we get everything tidied and put back where it. One of the things that you may have noticed in the news this week, to switch to our topic for the day, is that now Pew Charitable Trust survey, something like less than 50% of Americans have any affiliate. Most Americans seem to have drifted away from it. It's a scant majority, but still it is. I began to think about that this week, and especially when I read an article by a political commentator. He made the observation that one of the reasons that we find ourselves in this position is because Christians have been rather enamored, at least especially in America, political power. In Europe, in traditional Orthodox countries, the church was Christianity is a state, which means that it is supported by the state financially, but also in terms of its moral. I think that is always a temptation from the state what can only be done by preaching the gospel. And in America, that has served that Christianity, especially mainline Protestantism in the 19th, early 20th century, and evangelical Christianity, has been the established religion in all but. What I mean by that is that culturally, mainline Protestantism and then evangelical set the tone for the preaching of the gospel, and that mainline Protestant then would often appeal to elected officials to get their Christian agendas written into law. And so there's no mistake. This is not simply a problem of religious right. Progressive Christians in the 1960s and civil rights movement were to see laws written that reflected their moral clear. I'm not suggesting that segregation is a good thing. It's a wicked and evil thing for it being outlawed. In fact, it shouldn't, it's not a good thing. But the fact that Christians took a shortcut in both cases, rather than preaching the gospel and seeing to the spiritual formation of their own faithful, the internal discipline of their own traditions, a lot of that to the state. We've seen this as well with changes in marriage. Christians have offloaded a lot of the hard moral work in the state to license marriages, to have marriage laws, civil law, rather than by the internal life of the church. So, to varying degrees, been willing to see good things written into law, those good things written into law as the victory. That's happened with marriage. It's happened, and again, these are certainly good things, but if you have laws that are compatible or even reflect the gospel. At the end of the laws in the Platonic dialogues, Plato observation that good laws entrusted to wicked men make us worse than slaves. Well, I think this is what the recent sociological data have become fools. We have worked hard to write good laws while ourselves to be good people. We have churches which are segregated still today. Divorce is among Christians. And these are not good things. Divorce is a tragic necessity, and there are times when a monolithic congregation is necessary, even. But in the main, a moment ago offloaded our moral teaching to the state, and now we are paying the cost. When I taught high school, students would ask me, Mr. Jensen, as I was known then, I don't need to go to church to be. They are absolutely right. There are many good people who do not believe in Jesus Christ. There are many ever for their entire life. But being a Christian is not simply a matter of, it is coming to share in the divine nature. As St. Peter says, we have become sharers of the divine nature. This is communicated to us through the sacrament, through the ascetical life. Christianity is not about being good laws, though these things certainly are of value. Rather, to be a Christian means, as St. Sarah, to acquire the Holy Spirit, or again, in the technical theological language, deification, to become by grace what Jesus Christ is by nature. So our numbers are dropping, we are less popular, and thank God. Maybe we will find the motivation to do the hard work that we have neglected century, which is preaching the gospel, baptizing, and teaching what Jesus has taught us. As I said before, that's going to require some change. My Protestant brothers and sisters, my evangelical brothers and sisters in Christ, you're going to have to reconcile with. Yep, there's just no way. You do not have the resources within you. And to my Roman Catholic brothers and sisters, reconcile with the Orthodox Church, and my Orthodox brothers and sisters, we're going to have to reconcile. We have to end the division, and well, otherwise, I'm not sure what God will allow to happen. It will not be pleasant, even if it will be for our salvation. Well, anyway, to my Western brothers and sisters who are celebrating Easter Pascha this morning, to all of you, and those of you who are Orthodox, we've got a couple more weeks today. Cross, so we'll venerate the cross in a little bit here, just before liturgy. But if not at liturgy in person, then online. And again, if you are watching online, give us a thumb so we know you're there. It helps us a lot. So goodbye, and bye-bye.